Hello everyone and welcome to the final match at Concordia's Mario Kart tournament in 2026. The morning of this race, teams from DC West, David City, Grand Island Northwest, some nearby friends in East Butler, and others all started competing in a 2v2 match round-robin tournament in order to determine the 6 teams for this race right here. In the end, 2 teams from Concordia were able to make it into the top 6, as well as 2 teams from David City, a team from DC West, and a team from Grand Island Northwest. This final set of races will be run as 12 races, teams of 2. So essentially it is a duos mogi, if you're familiar with the competitive scene, just watching how they do it online. And here at the beginning, you'll have to forgive me, my videography was not the best during the tournament itself, so you see me putting some names on the screen live in the video. In the top left, we've got the team from DC West. In the top right, we've got the 2 red Birdo and Yoshi team. They're from David City. That's the first team from David City. In the bottom left, we've got David City's second team. In the bottom right, we've got Grand Island's team. When the video's screens change, you'll see new names come up for the other teams. Concordia 1 and 2 are not shown right now. They're running, I believe, a Diddy Kong combo and a Daisy on one team, as well as 2 Yoshis, I think, on the other team. The first track here, of course, picked is Yoshi Circuit, and it is just a fantastic course to run. A bit of a bagger. You'll see some bullets coming up here towards the end. But it really was a good first race for everyone to sort of get the nerves out in this big 12-player room. All morning, like I was saying, they'd been playing 2v2s just to try and sort out the top 6 teams, and these were the final 6. It was a really close set of round-robin play beforehand. A lot of good racers from all over the state of Nebraska coming in for this tournament. We're very thankful for them. Traveling out, some from as far away as Grand Island, that's 2.5 hours away. But East Butler, just about an hour and a half. David City, also about an hour and a half. And DC West, just a little bit, maybe 30 minutes away over in Valley. We also had a team from Westview, just north of Concordia, about 1 mile. So we had a good mixture of teams from around the state. And we were very blessed to have them all racing with us on that day. This tournament was February 14th, a nice Valentine's Day tournament. And so we really also appreciate the players and the coaches giving up their Saturday morning and afternoon to drive out and see how things would turn out on the racetracks. Second course here being picked is Cheeseland. Cheeseland is just like Yoshi Circuit. It's known as a big bagger, so you'll see some players intentionally staying in the back, hopefully hoping to pull some good items for the last lap. But a little bit of background here on this tournament and how it was done. So we had 15 teams show up for the tournament. That's 15 teams of 2. There was 1 team of 3. But in the round-robin tournament, the top 6 were decided just by playing 2v2s. Any team that did not make it into the top 6 was given a chance to ban certain courses from the full 96-track set of tracks in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So from that list then, the teams that made it into the top 6, whatever was left over, they were allowed to ban stages. So the top team could ban 4 stages. The second team could also ban 4 stages. Third and fourth place teams going into the final 6 here, they were allowed to ban 3 stages. Then the bottom 2 teams, 5th place and 6th place teams coming into finals, they could only ban 2 stages. Then from that remaining list of available courses, the top team could pick 4. The top team could pick 2 stages. The third and fourth place team could choose 3. and the 5th and 6th place teams could choose 2. I'm sorry, I misspoke there. They could choose 4. And that gave us a map pool of, I believe, 18 courses. And from that pool of 18, these 6 teams could choose their preferences according to how they finished the previous race, how they felt on each race. They got to choose which course they wanted for the given race, and then Nintendo would randomly, of course, pick one. So there really is a reduced map pool. Cheeseland and Yoshi's Circuit are in that map pool. Maps may not be reran, and we're just starting to see now, after 2 races, how things are starting to pan out. We see Concordia's top 2 teams now on the top of your screen, on the top left and top right. DC West in the middle left, David City middle right, and bottom left, and Grand Island in the bottom. And I believe that the video will stay on this screen now for the rest of the voiceover here, the rest of the finals tournament. And you'll see the team scores on the right side of the screen. Usually the scores take a minute after each race to update. I remember doing this live during the tournament to keep a scoreboard going for them. But little old me, couldn't do the math super fast, and so the scores do update, but they'll update at some point kind of in the middle of the next race, once a race is done. Concordia 2 and DC West are starting off pretty good. Concordia 1 way down at the bottom with just 8 points, 12 points behind the lead. But with 12 races, you can make up a lot of points. 12 points is certainly not a big deficit in a 12-player or 6-team set. Music Park, very fun track, great soundtrack, great sound effects. And there the scores have updated. So Concordia, as I was just saying, Concordia 2 was at 20 before, now they're at 42. Concordia 1 was in last place with 8 points, and now they're up in second with 30. So pretty chaotic standings here after just 2 races. We'll see how it continues to evolve as the races continue. And then we'll see by the end of all 12 what it ends up as. But Concordia there up in the top 2 screens. We've got an 11th and 5th spot, a 1st and 3rd. Looks like Concordia 2 is holding tight up in the front. And who's up there with them? We've got a player from David City and a player from Grand Island. Here in the state of Nebraska, there's usually quite a lot of good racers in Mario Kart. There's schools which are historically very good. Grand Island historically will make it to state in the state tournament, one of the top 4 teams in Division 2. David City is typically a pretty good school from Division 3. DC West is not in the Nebraska Mario Kart leagues, but as you're seeing here, they do have some significantly good racers. A McAllister, his last name McAllister, and his partner in that in the middle left screen. One of those players played at Concordia in years past, and he's very good. And so you'll see him, if you were at the tournament, you'll see him calling out to his old friends from Concordia as they're racing, take this red shell, etc. And it was good fun. But this set of racers is quite good overall, these 12. Coming to the end of Music Park here. Players, it looks like they're opting to glide through the section instead of take the tricks on the road, probably just to avoid any item play. But Concordia 2 is going to finish very strong with a 1 and 2 finish. That's gonna just extend their lead a little bit more from 42 up. Close behind them is Grand Island's racer, the Orange Yoshi. So we're kind of seeing into the minds of the players here at this point. Players from David City, you can see them choosing Coconut Mall, and you can see them picking Neo Bowser City.
Yeah, I suppose they can if they want to, in the middle of the track, in the middle of a race.
So yeah, David City trying to pick some courses that are pretty good for front running. They were sort of in the middle back of the pack, so they must be trying to pick some courses that they're very familiar with and they know they're fast at or really like. But I think actually for their placements, Mario Kart Stadium, MKS, is actually a pretty good choice for them. MKS has some of the biggest shortcuts in the whole game. This one at the very, very end, you'll see first place, the Diddy Kong in the top left, about to go through it. He's not going to do the UMT strat, but he will still glide through it just fine. Hits the off-road just barely. But that cut through the off-road there, in between all the pipes and against the wall, that is a very, very big shortcut. Now, I do know that the Grand Island players play with GameCube controllers, and so the bottom right-hand screen there, you might watch their shortcuts. They will be able to take the faster method for that shortcut. At the end, it involves motion controls. When you're playing with a GameCube controller, you can set your C stick for motion controls instead of using... Here we go, we'll watch them right now. Yes, the orange Yoshi on the left is using motion controls and a mushroom there. Very well done. That's the GameCube controller, which has no gyrometer in it, using motion controls without actually using motion from your controller. That can give you a faster shortcut there on Mario Kart Stadium's final cut. So, the Daisy from Grand Island getting hit out, but third place going through with a mushroom. That Yoshi for Grand Island and motion controls, that's probably going to be a very good finish for them. They were in third. Missed the motions a little bit, but second place, unfortunately, his teammate, or her teammate, I'm not sure if it was Balcom or Dale there, unfortunately getting hit out and falling back to 11. But there you see a little bit of the advantage for the GameCube controller over a normal Switch Pro controller. You're able to use motion controls without having the typical accidental steering from, just turning your controller when you don't want it. Yeah, so we'll see here. It looks like a few teams trying to pick Twisted Mansion. It looks like David City 1 sticking with that Coconut Mall, trying to get that, and David City 2 and DC West both picking Twisted Mansion. And I keep waiting for the scores to update, but sorry that I was a little slow on that. Looks like the two Concordia teams are pulling ahead. Concordia 1 now 14 points over over DC West 1, and Concordia 2 just another 6 points above there. And here we go. Scores look like they're updating. David City in 4th and 5th place overall, and Grand Island in 6th place overall. Yeah, so as this first lap stops, I suppose we can fill this space with a little bit of another thank you. This tournament was held over at Concordia Lutheran Schools of Omaha, just at 156th and 4th Street. So we're very, very thankful for Concordia and for letting us use the Griffith Center. You can see it in the top right where all the tables are and the players are racing and then the spectators are seated. It's just a wonderful auditorium to be playing in. The lights and the sound is just really, really good. High quality there. So we're very thankful for Concordia that they would let us use the venue for this. Also very thankful to the NSESA, that's Nebraska Schools Esports Association. thankful that they would let us advertise in their forums and in their Discord servers, and that teams from the NSCSA and out, as in the case of DC West, that they would again consider coming to the tournament. And lastly, I'd like to thank CMK8Dx Games. You can see their logo in the bottom right-hand corner. CMK8Dx Games is a board game company. They've got games like Habitats or Smash Bam Kapow, and couple games still in production I know of. We've got Galactic Pizza, a pizza delivery game that they're coming out with probably in the next year or so, and another game in the making which I've played and can really attest to. It is a great game whenever that game comes out. Dark Forest. It's kind of a player versus player or player versus the environment game on a board, similar to like similar to like a maybe like a D&D dungeon crawl on a fixed map where you're constantly fighting one another, trying to complete quests, etc. But it's much less role-playing than it is just competing against one another. But we're very thankful that CMK8Dx would sponsor the tournament as well as all the games for Concordia this year as a team sponsor for us. All right, so Twisted Mansion ends up with Concordia 1 and 2 just extending their lead. It's no longer just a 14-point difference between Concordia 1 and DC West. Now we see that it's gone up to 24 points. So Concordia 1 and 2 doing quite well, and the other teams keep battling it out for that 3rd through 6th position. But here we are on Bone Dry Dunes. The upcoming turn sequence where there's the bone piranha plants right after this jump. This is a difficult section right here to do fast. That inside corner is certainly the fastest corner, and frequently people will go flying off the edge there, or they'll just end up having to bail on the fast path and take the shorter or the slower path on the left. But then here towards the end, there's a little straightaway with a couple dry bones walking around, and then a quick cut through the sand. We'll see how this race ends up, but this is a very difficult track, and if you haven't trained it, the changes in traction and the fast sequences of turns can really catch an inexperienced player off guard, or really even an experienced player that's just in a new situation or getting bumped in a way they usually aren't getting bumped. A lot of banana traps in that difficult section, so the racers are doing their best to avoid all those traps. We've got DC West following closely in second place behind a Concordia 1 and Concordia 2 player. And we've got also up in the front a player from David City who's going to shroom through that cut right at the end and be right up there in 5th place. A bomb taking out some players up towards the front. And that's going to shake up the top standings. Now Concordia 2 doesn't have any position higher than 6th place. And that's the team that's up in the front of the points. So Concordia 2 is having a rough go this race. And teams like DC West and David City 1 looks like they could have a better finish than they've had so far. 3 and 6 for David City 1 in a star. This could be good for them this race. Concordia 1, I hear a blue shell on its way. Will it hit the player in the front in time? No, he's going to outrun it. Who will it hit? Will it hit DC West? No, it won't. It continued on its way. And there we have it. David City 1 with a 3rd place finish and an 8th place finish. So that's a mid-pack and a high placement. And that's a good race for David City 1. Concordia 2 with 2 poor finishes, and you're going to see them lose a bit of the lead, I think, against Concordia 1. Concordia 1 and David City 1 delaying their choice a little bit. Probably discussing what course they're going to pick from the list of available courses still. Waluigi Pinball. This will be extremely good for whoever's in the front. So this is probably going to result in Concordia 1 having a nice little advantage. Their player up in first place, as well as DC West in second, as well as that David City 1 player in third. This is a track that's very difficult to come back on. So we'll see how the pack splits apart here, whose lines are better, who gets trailed out and who doesn't. And then who can avoid this pinball. Looks like the Diddy Kong was very fast, was able to beat the pinball on the first turn, as well as the Concordia 2 player in second place now. And it looks like third place, the Daisy, and the fourth place from Grand Island, third and fourth. That's going to be very good for Grand Island, as long as they can keep themselves away and safe from these triple bananas that one of them has. The Daisy taking a very wide line. I'm not sure what happened there. I didn't quite see it, but the third place Yoshi now is up towards the front. And you're starting to see that first place from Concordia, the green Yoshi now on the right, as well as the Diddy Kong. They're just hitting the cannon. And they've got 3 seconds on Grand Island's third place player. So you might just see first and second continue to separate apart. Concordia 1 and 2 are technically playing on 2 separate teams now. But so we'll see. That player in second place doesn't have great items. We'll see him. Yep, he chains a coin here, but he's holding onto that horn for defense. He doesn't know who's behind him, and he might cycle the horn on the next item set, or he might be trying to outline. Nope, doesn't cycle. So he might be just trying to outline that Yoshi. He might be confident in his racing lines. Oh, the horn gets stolen from that second place Diddy. Oh, and the Yoshi up in first, trying to trap the Diddy Kong behind him. And now Concordia 1 has third place as well. So fourth place is in David City's possession, fifth in DC West, sixth in Grand Islands, and seventh in David City 2. I'm just waiting to see it. Okay, Concordia 1 does have a red shell in second, hidden behind a banana. They will throw the banana forwards, throw the red shell, and try and draw new items. Concordia 1 nearly hits their own player with a red shell that was thrown up at them. But it does not look like Concordia 1 is going to overtake Concordia 2's first player, even though they've thrown a few red shells at him. Oh my goodness, a shock here towards the end. A blue shell on Concordia 2, and now Concordia 1 can capitalize. That player in second place should get big soon and overtake him right on the final corner, and Concordia 1 takes 1-3 with Concordia 2 taking 4-2. Okay, David City finishing in fifth. In sixth, we've got Grand Island down there, and then the rest of the pack finishes in order as well. So we'll see how the scores here end up. But as I was saying, that course really was just you're in the front, you kind of stay in the front. That's the way Waluigi Pinball sort of works. Both Concordia teams considering Wild Woods. Concordia 1 choosing a different course in the end, it looks like. But another course, another team, David City 2, going for Wild Woods as well. And Concordia 1 ended up going back to it as well. Now the map choices are going down a little bit. And so Wild Woods will be chosen. Not as many courses left to be raced. This is the 8th race. There are just 5 left. 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So here we are at the start of Wild Woods. We've got Concordia 1 off to a good start up in the top, and DC West, my apologies. David City is in 10 and 12, and 6 and 11 here as well. An unfortunate fire is sending the pink Yoshi off the edge. But DC West up towards the top. And Grand Island is sitting in a great position here now, trailing Banana behind in first. He gets taken out by whoever was behind him in second place, maybe the Diddy Kong. But Grand Island Northwest, look at this position that they're in. 1 and 2, slowing down because of a couple unfortunate hits, getting horned off the glider section. That's a really rough hit to take, but Grand Island's second player there still maintaining first place. We'll see if they have good enough lines to hold that against Concordia's Green Yoshi in the top right, who's taking the cut, and the Diddy Kong, who's just hopping through the off-road in order to take the cut as a Nisk instead. A red shell going up from third place Diddy up towards Concordia's second place Yoshi. And now we see Diddy throwing everything that they can up. A boomerang, maybe taking the barrel cut and throwing the green off the glider. Yes, they're going to try and hit off Concordia 2's Yoshi. And Concordia 1 getting trailed out. And you can just see, if you can't already see it, we're in the 8th race, and Concordia 1 and 2 are quite a ways up in the points. Concordia 1 and 2 are really dominating those top positions despite throwing every item they can at one another to try and claim the top spots. But as this Wild Woods race comes to an end, Concordia 2 takes 1-3, Concordia 1 second, and third goes to, fourth goes to DC West. And we'll see how the scores level out here after that. Concordia 2 had a great race. Concordia 1 slightly worse. So Concordia 2 is going to close that gap between 153 and 29. They're behind by 24 points, and now they're up a 1. They're just up a point. So that's a really good race for Concordia 2. And the rest of the scores are being updated on their way down there. So we've got Concordia 2 now in the lead at 154, Concordia 1 at 153, and then 40 points behind is third place. And so this, I don't know, just looking at the scoreboard, this kind of looks like a race for third place. Concordia 1 and 2 continue to just take top spots, and then DC West and the other teams really, they can punch up in. They can definitely get into that first spot, into that second spot, but just a little bit of item play, whether it's a mushroom through a cut or whether it's a red shell at an opportune time, they just keep getting knocked out. So now going into Romavanti, there is a mushroom cut here right at the very beginning. This course is kind of a shroomer, so Diddy Kong's going to take this shortcut through that archway. Getting redded out is going to bring them back into 6, and now we've got DC West leading the pack in first and second, now second, fifth, but having a boomerang, that's going to be able to take out quite a few players if he can just surgically hit someone else. His teammate is racing up in front, and that green Yoshi is flirting with danger. He's thinking of passing that Diddy Kong that was holding a red shell, and they still are. So that fourth place racer from DC West is cautiously approaching that Diddy Kong, knowing that it can be a red shell in the nick of time right there. But let's see where we're at for these other teams. Grand Island Northwest has between them now 4 green shells, and that's why the mid pack is so dangerous. You get a couple teammates like that are holding on to several green shells, and you can't get through them without getting hit. So Grand Island now in 3rd and 8th. The high defensive count for the green shells is really going to keep them up there. But David City 2 pulling triple reds is going to be able to try and gain some offensive spots here. But no, they're going to get redded out as they come up to the change hump bridge portion of the race. And Concordia 1 is up at the front again, 2 and 4, with Fire coming up behind him. And Concordia 2, as you can see, is in the back part of the pack. That could change as they come around the final section of the course here. But 5 and 8 is, no, it's going to stay 5 and 11, maybe 5 and 12 here for Concordia 2. So that is not what they wanted. They're trying to compete with this Concordia 1 team, but a finish like that is not what they want. So Concordia 1 is definitely going to take the lead after that. We'll see how the rest of the points level out. Yeah, so Concordia 1 now up by 11 points over Concordia 2, who is up 43 points over DC West, who is up 18 points over David City 1, followed by just 4 points for Grand Island Northwest. And then David City is close behind there as well. Hey. And for the 10th race, we're down to the last quarter of the 12 races in the finals here. It does look to be like Concordia 1 and 2 are running away with it, but DC West is within striking distance, and a couple bad races here for either Concordia 1 or 2 really could bring them back. Teams can be making 15, 12, 27 points a race, and at a minimum we've got 3 points. So it would be possible for Concordia 1 to end this whole Grand Prix off with another 9 points at 184. And it would be possible for David City to end 54 plus 27. That's 81 more points, so 158 points. So we can already see David City 2 certainly cannot take first, but they could stretch up into third place by the end of this. It just kind of depends on how things unfold here in the last 3 races. Ribbon Road is a difficult track. Lots of risky shortcuts, lots of waves in some of the course that are a little bit random and difficult to navigate. So for players that are in a group or getting hit with items, these shortcuts can become deadly losses for time. Concordia 2 really struggling here, having 1st and 12th, now 11th and 10th. And Concordia 1 occupying sort of the middle front of the pack. Grand Island, exactly what they need to be doing right now is holding a top spot up in 2nd and shrooming up into 5th. A ghost will bring them probably up into 4th. What item will they steal? It's triple mushrooms there for Grand Island. So Grand Island is in very good spots right now. They've got double shrooms with a shell behind, but a boomerang is going to be coming up right behind them. That's going to be dangerous for that Grand Island team, and they do get hit. So a Grand Island 6th place player now deciding to throw the red shell up, and they are defenseless. So if they can make these cuts, no, Grand Island 2nd place player falls off. And the 4th place player falls off. That's really going to hurt their chances here in this race as we come around the final corner. Grand Island had this race down, and then 2 misses on those risky cuts. And oh my goodness, they're getting Mario Karted. This is just sad to watch the end of the race for Grand Island. They raced so well for the majority of that course. Up in 2nd, up in 4th, in great positions with good items for the cuts, and just getting knocked all the way back. That is very sad to see. David City 1, David City 2, and DC West. It was so unfortunate watching Grand Island there, what was happening. I wasn't tracking exactly what happened with them. But we'll see the points change here. So DC West went up just about 8 points, if I'm remembering correctly. David City goes up 12 points, so they're catching on DC West there, it seems. Grand Island going from 99 up to... Oh, sorry, they're arriving at 99, and David City 2 ending at 83 there with 6 points. Okay, Grand Island went up 7 points there, so... Yeah, not great races for DC West, Grand Island, or David City 2. David City 1 catching up a little bit on DC West. Here at Sunshine Airport, or Epley Airfield as we call it here in Omaha. A really fun track. Really quite a fun track. I think they're all fun, but I really like the way this track plays with this cut here on the right side with mushrooms through the grass. And the way that the glider goes right into a drift that you can double SMT or SMT UMT if you've got your soft drifting skills down pat. Ooh, I'm looking Concordia 1, the 10th place Daisy, who got hit with the red shell, barely makes it into the glider as after their hit. And here we go. Look at Grand Island again up in some high spots. 2nd place with the horn. They must have gotten knocked off, and so now 2nd place with green for Grand Island, and the other orange Yoshi for them up in 5th place. So Grand Island has some good spots. They clearly know this track very well. And good, David City 2 is up in the front as well. 2nd and 5th and battling with Grand Island. At this point, they've got to be thinking to themselves, we've got to do everything we can to break into that Concordia 1-2 DC West group. So I don't know if they're going to play more friendly towards one another or not, but that would certainly make some good sense. No, so Grand Island's throwing items up, trying to hit those David City players. So they really are playing aggressively with their items, trying to gain as many spots as they can. And it looks like Grand Island came out on the losing end of that sequence. And David City 2 is now in 2nd, 4th, led only by 1st place from Concordia 1 and 3rd place from one of the Grand Island players, or 2nd place now. Yeah, I can tell this David City team, this Grand Island team, they know this course quite well. The way they're racing, the way they're taking the cut here in the grass, the way they can catch up, even when they fall behind. David City 2 certainly knows this track well, and so does Grand Island 1. A red shell is going to knock Grand Island. No. So David City is now in 3-6, coming into the final item set. And Concordia 1 still in 1st. Will they trap anything with those bananas? That's what I'm waiting for. Diddy Kong crosses the finish line and does trap close to the end, but that probably won't hurt anyone by the end. No. So, yes, look at this finish for Grand Island. They took 2nd place finish, and David City 2 taking 4th place finish. And David City 1 in 3rd. That's, great places for David City 1, 2, and Grand Island, just sort of spread out between 3 different teams. If you could put those finishes onto one team, those would be fantastic finishes. So, unfortunately for each team of 2, they're spread out. But you will see some of these scores going up for those 3 teams, DC 1, DC 2, and Grand Island 1. Concordia 1 at 219. Concordia 2 now, 24 points behind. So almost breaking the 200-point barrier. And as the rest of the scores are updated and filter down, I think we can see that now with just 1 race left, 2 races left, I think David City 2 as well as Grand Island 1 certainly cannot finish higher than, this is the last race. They certainly cannot finish higher than 4th place. David City 1 could finish in 3rd if they have an exceptional race, and DC West would have to have a terrible race. So I'm going to focus in on those 2 here as this Yoshi Valley course begins. This course is, from way back in the Nintendo 64 days. Oh, David City 1 getting knocked off the bridge. Oh, that is rough to see. Now they're in 11 and 12. But fortunately for David City 1, who needs a very big race here, this race, like I was saying, back in the N64 days, it has so many different paths. And most racers here know the bridge path is the fastest one, and the cannon path is a little bit slower, but it also has a few coins. Most racers will take those tracks and then just take the nice big shortcuts here right at the end. David City 1 pulling single shroom twice in 11th place. That is terrible, and it's being ghosted by their own teammate. That is not the fortune that you need from Nintendo's random number generator. They need bigger items than, oh my goodness, getting fired on the bridge. David City 1 needs a big race, and DC West, David City needs them to take 4 places, and that is just not the way this is shaping out. Again, David City 1 pulling mushroom after mushroom. Finally a star is pulled. That could help them dodge a shock. We'll see if one can be pulled by any team, but I think that usage of the star was just a little early. Okay, there. David City 1 is trying to hit people with that star, and that's fine. They're taking a little bit of a shortcut with it. But DC West is in too good a position to really care about how David City 1 is doing. DC West is in 3 and 4 with a horn defending against a fire. 4 is going to switch with 3. And the previous third place player is going to switch back to 6 and miss an item set. David City 1 will need that, and you can see that the spots have switched. DC West is now in 6 and 3, and David City 1 is in 2nd place. If this player from David City 1 in 10th place can pull a good item here and finish the race strong, that probably isn't what they need. Oh my goodness, David City 1. is going to finish with a good spot. Third. Fourth, though, for DC West, and 11th for DC West will guarantee that David City 1 doesn't quite catch them. So I believe that is the
tried my best
final
to keep
race.
the scores up. Well done. Good racing, everyone. I tried my best to keep the scores up.
You can hear me talking from the actual event there. Here, this is a voiceover happening after the event.
So let me just verify the scores. So I think Concordia won.
Before I put in the final scores, I was double-checking with the scoreboard. But this looks like it's going to be Concordia 1's game, followed by Concordia 2, followed by DC West. And so you'll see the final scores being put in here. 230 for Concordia 1.
97. And DC West was 98.
One final thing to say about this whole sequence. Of course, for this tournament, we've got medals. We've handed out medals for the top 3 teams, but also the individual scores there. You saw a racer from Concordia 1 took first place overall. He received a Most Valuable Player trophy, as well as a player from DC West, as well as a player from Concordia 2. So the highest individual scorers for each team, the top 3 scorers from the 6 teams, rather, they each received MVP trophies, and then the top 3 teams in the finals received medals.
Tie for 4th. Thankfully, not a tie for 3rd. I don't have medals for that many people.
So thank you again to all the racers for coming out. It was a
Thank you so much
fantastic
for
time.
racing today, everyone.